Welcome back, Achievers, to your Easy Achievers Game Podcast for the week of June 16th. I'm one of your hosts, Elijah, sitting across from me digitally, as always, on episode 124.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alex.
Hello.
Oh, Shimmer. So, this is the
Jack Black vibe there for a second.
Yeah, no, he does that, yeah.
Do you remember? Yeah.
What was it? Nacho Libre? That was a fucking crazy movie. Nacho! That was a weird movie. I remember watching that as a kid and being super into it. Like, I liked it.
Yeah, for sure.
If Jack Black was in it, I was probably going to watch it.
Oh, yeah, he's one of my favorite actors.
I think he was kind of the favorite, or I think he was the first actor I knew. You know what I mean? Like, I understood, like, you know, Jack Black, the person acting, and he's in movies, and I watched it because of him. Like, that was the kind of the first person I did that with. Because aside from that, I don't even think I was super. I mean, I wasn't super in the movies back then either, so I just kind of watched stuff. I remember, this is a funny one. I remember, wow, I'm blanking on his name. Samuel L. Jackson was another person like that, but he was in things that I liked. So, like, when I was a kid, I liked the Star Wars, the prequels, the Star Wars prequels, so episode 1 through 3. As a kid, I liked them a lot, and I loved Mace Windu as a character. Like, he was one of my favorite people. And then I also liked him in Jurassic Park, and in what else was he in? Oh, and then Avengers was getting popular around then too. So I thought that was really cool that he was in all that too.
You want to know what the first movie that I saw him in, and it wasn't either of those.
Snakes on a Plane. Okay, I don't know that.
Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, I don't know what that is. Is that like a shark horror movie kind of thing? Like,
the sharks get really intelligent. They're like experimenting on them, and they wind up getting escaping, and they start breaking into the facility. The facility starts getting into water. The sharks get in the facility. All that type of shit.
That reminds me of Jaws 3D. There's a really weird scene that clearly they did not have enough money to make look better, but there's like this stock cutout of a shark doing this, like slowly moving towards the screen, and it hits the screen and it crashes. And there's glass, and the glass is supposed to be like 3D and the water's floating in, but it looked super bad because I guess they didn't have enough money to make it look good. So it's just like a little photo of a shark just pink, and then
it was interesting because it had the craziest cast. It had Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know if you ever seen the scene where he's just standing there and a fucking shark comes from behind him.
I don't think so.
That's L.O. Cool J.
Okay, all right.
He's a chef. And
I didn't
the original Punisher movie, like from like the early 2000s.
I know exactly what I'm about.
And he that guy, he was in that movie. Like all those people, like I'm like, really, L.O. Cool J?
It's looking back, yeah, that's a pretty wild cast. I love it though.
It's a good movie, like for being like a movie like back then, like it's a good movie. It's one of those nostalgic ones.
Sorry about that. Let me silence that phone. But oh, really? That's shocking. Oh my god.
Yeah.
How? But
I don't know.
That all those movies back in the day, it's very nostalgic. I have very few nostalgic movies because I just didn't watch a lot of movies back then, but the few that I have are very nice to watch. Because a little part of me, even though episode 1 through 3 riddled with mistakes, I do enjoy watching because it reminds me of, like, God, I remember watching this over and over again as a kid.
Fan, and I don't give a fuck what anyone says out there.
I like a lot of 3. 3 is my favorite.
Yeah,
out of
for sure.
I think it's an easy thing to say, but also I can literally watch the Darth Maul fight scene just on repeat. Just that over and over again. It's so good.
Yeah.
Duel of Fates. Are you kidding me? Oh.
What are we?
I think we're a video game podcast or something like that. I don't know. We're definitely not a Samuel L. Jackson / nostalgic movie podcast. We are a video games podcast coming to you every single Friday on a podcast service or YouTube of your choice. Now, this is a pretty dense show. We have a lot of rumors. We have a lot of secular news. Really, the actual news of the show is centered around kind kind of going over the showcase again, not really going over it too much in depth, but bringing up some things. Starfield is the biggest thing to talk about, but we're going to cover, if you didn't catch Summer Games Fest, we'll cover a little bit about the shows. And aside from that, it's expected pretty heavy, but not that many actual news happening this week. A lot of rumors. Alex, before we get into this, I ask you a single question every single week. And that question is, what have you been playing?
So in the last week, I haven't been able to I haven't played much because I've been really into Ozark. I am 3 episodes left.
I was about to say, so as far as I remember, the last time we checked in on this, I believe you finished season 1. So you have gone through 2 seasons in about a week and a few days.
Yeah.
Congrats, first off. This show's amazing.
This show is wild.
So for the choosers who have watched the show, but of course we don't want to spoil it too much, but give us a rough estimate of where you are episode-wise.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, I've been trying to still work on the backlog. You know, trying some new things like they showed off on the showcase. I want to try that Metal Hellbringer game.
Hellraiser, Hellsinger. No, Hellsinger.
Hellsinger. Yeah. I'm really interested in like what it is because I've always been a rhythm game guy, but like
did you download the demo? I know there's a demo.
Download it. Okay. I did download it. I just haven't had a chance to turn it on yet.
I believe it started today. It might have started yesterday, but there's the demo days on Steam right now that you guys can check out right now. I believe so. There should be a lot of demos from a lot of the Summer Games Fest stuff, a lot of the side content like Devolver Digital stuff and Day of Devs. Like there should be a lot of demos on there. So I believe that's like a spotlight thing throughout the weekend. So check it out. There should be a lot of stuff on there. I'm gonna check it out probably actually tonight, if not tomorrow, and really grab the demos I want to play and probably make a nice tweet thread, which is what I usually do when these things happen. I do a tweet thread of all my favorite demos. So be on the lookout for that. But I'm excited to do that too. Yeah,
other than that, I busted out the Vita.
Yes, you did.
And I restarted Persona 4.
Oh. Okay, so what got you to do this versus waiting for the port? Are you just excited to play this? Are you not excited for the port at all and you just want to play it on Vita?
So when I spoke to you and Emmett,
yes, we did.
I was like, how far along do you think we're going to get Persona 4 Golden? Because we're getting Persona 5 first.
Yes,
and we're getting
October 21st.
So like from that point, when will we get 3 and 4? Will we get them together, or will we get 4 first, or will we get 3 first? So I was like, maybe I have at least 6 months. I think that should be enough. I think that's enough time. And I never beat the Vita one, so I want trophies.
Yeah.
So I figured, you know what? I have nothing else to play. I'm itching for a JRPG. Might as well go to that.
Might as well, right? And it's not a bad time. And also, yeah, I think we get that probably in January. I wouldn't be shocked, honestly, because it's a nice thing to fill out their quarter. So like maybe they launch in October.
One each quarter, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it comes out in March or April, whenever their fiscal quarter ends. So like, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if it is even that long. And you'd assume Golden is pretty far along because it already has a PC port on Steam. So you imagine, honestly, they could probably release it in a few weeks if they needed to. But I think they would probably, kind of, slowly kind of let those come out. Yeah, and I believe they're coming to Game Pass too. Did I get that right? Are they coming to Game Pass?
I believe they're coming to Game Pass. Yes.
So yeah, you'll get it on Game Pass regardless. Of course, it is coming. We'll cover it later in the show as well. But all of those are also coming to PS5 and PC. So do not worry if you're thinking it was an Xbox exclusive. It definitely is not. So it is coming to everything. Alex, I guess I would start. I started my week kind of the same way. I wasn't touching games. I was kind of relaxing, doing some things around the house. My favorite thing is I finally figured out how to run my water softener, if you guys know what that is. So I bought my house from a reseller, and I guess the hot thing right now is water softeners. So there's this giant tank thing in my garage, and like I had no idea what to do with it. And also, I didn't know you had to like super maintain it that well. So I finally sat down, me and my wife figured out how to really run this thing. So you kind of like keep it refreshed with salt. So you buy salt, like these giant salt cubes. I mean, these things are like this big. And you put it inside of this big kind of almost vat like situation,
like a cylindrical.
Yeah, it's a
like,
giant cylinder thing that comes to probably like my waist, a little higher, and you just fill it with salt. You fill it as much salt as you want, I guess, until it is filled. And I kind of spent like a few days. My wife really did the majority of this, but I kind of came behind her and figured out like the little things. But we figured out that like you fill it with salt, and then the water will be put into it that dissolve the salt. Then they use the salt to like refill like the tank or something. So that was kind of the majority of my week figuring this crazy thing out. Apparently these things are incredibly expensive. Don't know why they put that in the house, but I like it. It seems to do something with the water.
Breaking, can you do without it?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I've had a water
now accumulated to it, to like if that fucks up, everything else is fucked up.
Oh, that's a good point. So as we were researching, that was kind of unclear. I saw people saying that they weren't getting water because theirs broke. I don't know if that's true, because I thought the way it works is the water line goes through that, but I think you can go through there regardless of it being able to soften it. But okay. I'm not 100% positive. I'm still learning about this thing. And like I said, apparently this thing's super expensive, so not a lot of people have it. Like when we were researching it, there, you know how YouTube is, you get like a million things. There wasn't like a super lot of videos, and there wasn't a lot of people talking about it. So I think this is like kind of like becoming a thing that people are going to be super into. It's really cool. We needed to get it serviced. I think you're supposed to get it serviced like every 2 years. We definitely haven't done that, so we need to do that. And I need to shove more salt in that thing to make sure that doesn't go down. So
it sounds like a pool.
It definitely did. I was very shocked that you used salt for this thing, but apparently it is. Someone made a science diagram of this thing, and apparently like science goes into it. I'll say that the sodium goes in. It does a bunch of stuff in the tank, and I was like, okay, cool. This is incredibly complicated, and apparently what it does is it makes the water soften. Cool, whatever. But that was my week, is figuring that thing out. It was fun though. It's always fun, like trying to figure out solutions to things. Aside from that, Alex needs to switch his headset. But aside from that, I've been playing. I went actually back to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which was great to go back to. Finished out those 3 DLCs that I never played. I missed Cassandra, if I'm being honest. I went back to her. It was amazing to play those things again. I loved the Atlanta stuff. I'm never super into the Isu people, but kind of figuring that situation out was fun with how the Atlantis kind of breaks down. But I wasn't super into the DLC. I just liked hanging out with Cassandra again. And then they added that free mission that they I think it's called The Great Escape. It's basically it puts a bow tie on Cassandra in that story. Like it basically is like, all right, this is what she goes to do. So if you want more, and basically like where she ends up, you can play the DLC, and that was really cool. It was long. I was surprised about a few things that happened in the DLC. I was like, that seemed like not what you were building up to, but it's fine. It was cool to hang out with Cassandra again, and I started Valhalla, which now I have 5 DLCs to play now in Valhalla. So it's really just been
Dawn of Ragnarok, and still I've been doing Siege of Paris, and I'm just like still not finished it.
Seems like that's long too.
Yeah.
I started the river raids because those are really fun to me. I just love raiding like the settlements and getting like the stuff. So I've been doing that, but I've only played it today. Like this is my only time I played it. My rest of my week was Odyssey and the water situation. So
yeah,
but that's it for me. Let's move on. Let's actually get into the story, Alex. Rapid fire. There's only one today. Xbox CFO Tim Stewart said he expects supply chain issues to continue throughout the year. And this is a direct quote. Quote, manufacturers are facing 2 issues. Limited parts, which he reportedly said favor the Series S consoles, of course, because of the console. Series S console doesn't use all the specific things that the Series X does. And quote, elevated logistics, pricing pressuring margins, end quote. For people out there who just went, what the fuck did he just say? So basically, in layman's terms, shipping is a lot more expensive right now. I believe to get a crate from China on a shipping container is like, I think like $5,000. And for reference, it was like $100 a few years ago. So that's the frame of reference. So it's a lot more expensive to get your shit shipped. So that is probably what he's talking about with logistics pricing pressuring margins. So like small logistical things like that. I'm sure parts are getting more expensive to make these things too. So you're making less money. So it just, a lot of things are messing with the supply chain. So do not expect fixes soon. Moving into rumor roundup, Sony is working on a Pro controller. This is according to Tom Henderson, who was writing for Tryhard Guides, which, by the way, weird that Tom Henderson does Tryhard Guides. I think he's like freelancing or something. Maybe he's being paid by the guides. I don't know. But he's like super acclaimed. So I'm shocked like IGN or GameSpot haven't just offered him a shit ton of money to go write for their sites. His sources claim Sony is making them and will reveal this later this month. It is codename Hunt. And if you are familiar with the Xbox Pro controller, then you know what this is. It will feature removable analog sticks, trigger stops, and rear panels, everything you can expect from the series controller. Tom Henderson does have pictures of this device, but he did have an agreement with the leaker that he will not post them. Assumably that these pictures might tell Sony who leaked it. So I imagine that's the issue. But very excited for this. I believe Tom Henderson here. He has no reason to be wrong about this, especially since he is saying he has pictures. Definitely be doing this. I am excited for this. Now, the question is, it says it will be revealed later this month. I don't think people should get excited. I don't think there's going to be a state of play. I think this is a blog post. Sony doesn't really go crazy with their stuff like this. No. I think there will be a blog post similar to like when they announced the colors for the panels for the PS5. Yeah, like that was just a blog post one day. So I think this is just going to be some blog post that goes live. Hey, you can buy a Pro controller. It's $200 or however much it's going to be. Are you buying one?
Depending on how much
it is. Yeah, me too. Yeah. If it's literally copy paste Elite controller, like if it's literally this, then I'm down. Yeah, I'll do the 180 or however much.
Like they did that with the PS4. They did the scuffs. And then they had the Astro C40. Yep. I was so tempted to buy the C40, but I just never had the money for it. Like if I had the money for it, I would have gotten one. But like it has to like, you know, look good and feel comfortable. You know.
Same here.
And be comfortable with price.
Yes, same here. Yeah. Scuffs I never bought because I don't fuck with scuffs. Unfortunately. Yeah. They're just not there in quality for me. So. And the C40s I always wanted, but right time, right place. I never had the money and then bought it. You know, that kind of thing. Where when I had the money, I was trying to get something else. You know. Mm-hmm. Well-known leaker Snitch alludes to Final Fantasy VII Remake coming to Switch, Xbox, and PC. Now there is a Final Fantasy VII Remake 25th anniversary that will have gone live by the time you're watching this video. It is 6 p.m. on Thursday. We are recording at 1 p.m. Thursday. So you guys will know if this is right or not. Now, Snitch is a well-known leaker, so he is probably right. I imagine this was an if, not a when. This is a when, not an if. It was never a question that it would come to some other stuff. It just, how long was PlayStation going to pay for them to not put it on other stuff? And it looks like most likely at this 25th anniversary thing, we're going to get it on everything, which is cool. Alex, are you going to go back and replay it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely replay it for those achievements.
Yeah, me too.
The thing is, I see they're doing this a lot with, Persona's finally coming to Xbox. Final Fantasy VII is coming to Xbox. Do you think there's going to be anything else?
Now, when you say anything else, in my mind,
I'm assuming
what's left?
Party.
Well, my thing is like, what's left, right? You have Tales, you have Persona, you have the giant big names. You have Dragon Quest. You have Final Fantasy, which they've had Final Fantasy for a while, but
Yeah, I was about to say don't they have Dragon Quest on Xbox?
That's what I'm saying. These are things they have. Like they have Dragon Quest, they have Final Fantasy. The only reason they don't have Final Fantasy 16, presumably PlayStation paid a big lump sum to keep it on Sony platforms. You just, you can't really do anything about that. Same thing they did with Final Fantasy 7 remake. So, when I actually heard this brought up. I don't remember if this was Twitter or what, but people did bring up like, oh, I wonder what else is going to come. And I was trying to think like in my head, like, what else is there? I'm sure there's, I'm sure right now someone at home is like, guys, like XYZ, like, really hardcore JRPGs that I'm just not aware of right now. And off the top of my head, Trails of Cold Steel, I don't believe is on Xbox at all. That's not, so there you go.
I think it might be. Let me see.
There might be one of them. But there's a lot of them on there. That strategy game is on there. What is that called? Valkyria Chronicles. Like that's on Xbox. Like there's a lot of
Trails of Cold Steel is on Xbox.
Yeah, I think like what Chrono Trigger, like stuff like that, where like older titles. Yeah, those aren't on there yet, but those haven't really been re-released in a while. So
would they ever get any first-party titles?
What can you give me an example?
You're gonna hate it. Like something not as big as God of War, but something smaller to Days Gone.
That's a big question. That's the big thing, right? Will
the Marvel games? Probably not.
That's the big question, right? Like, will Xbox ever? Will the wall of first party ever be broken between these two parties? I think Xbox will be the first one to break versus PlayStation. PlayStation just doesn't need Xbox. They don't. They sell whenever they take out a PS5. It sells.
It's not like they care for Days Gone, so
I don't think it will probably ever happen in a while. I think you'll see Game Pass on PlayStation well before you see a PS game on an Xbox.
Okay,
and that'll be in a reality where we just can't fathom right now.
I mean, we thought of that with Kingdom Hearts years ago.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy to say that it was coming to Xbox 10 years ago. That was wild. Like that was like, what? No, that's not going to happen. That's like a fever dream. Like something that will probably never happen. But it's fun to speculate. And I don't think you're crazy. Like I think people at home right now are like, of course, PlayStation would never give their first party games up. I think a few months ago we would have said it was crazy for Xbox to buy Blizzard. I think a couple months before that we would have said it was crazy for Xbox to buy Bethesda. It was crazy for PlayStation to put MLB games on. It's crazy for PlayStation to put MLB games on PC. That's a different licensing thing, but that's beside the point. And then it was crazy for PlayStation to put games on PC. Clearly they want more games on PC, so the wall of platforms is getting ever thinner, I believe. Moving on. Well-known leaker Emily Rogers, this is a well-known Nintendo leaker, details a new Fire Emblem game. So this new Fire Emblem game is a new game, not a remake, has a brand new story. This is a collaboration between Intelligent Systems, Koei Tecmo, and Gust, which is a Koei Tecmo product. Gust heavily assisted with visuals and graphics. Graphics are an improvement over Three Houses, Fire Emblem Three Houses, of course, the most recent one. Originally intended as an anniversary game to celebrate Fire Emblem's 30th anniversary, the game has been finished for over a year. Main character, which is a lord, has a strange red and blue hair combination. His mother is a dragon. If you know Fire Emblem things, that's not crazy to say. New Fire Emblem gimmick will allow players to summon Fire Emblem characters from the past for your squad. After this went live, shortly after, I believe, I got my timelines mixed up on when this happened, but a screenshot of presumably the main character leaked. I can't tell who it is. So I can't tell if it is a side character. It has a very weird hairstyle, so I feel like they're so bombastic. It has to be either a main character or maybe a main supporting character. I'm very curious if... First off, I believe it's real because, I mean, it looks just like Fire Emblem. Let me see if I can find the picture to show you guys. Let's see if I can find it. She had, like, long black and red hair. But it's one of those things where it was hard to find. Oh, here we go. I think this is it. See, screenshot. It's on IGN. I'll see if I can find it in a second. But Alex, I know you're not a huge Fire Emblem fan, so I'm not really going to throw this too much to you. Chime in if you'd like. Yep, this all got. Oh, whoa. Okay, I didn't see this. So this is actually more than I saw. So yeah, I'm going to quickly show this really quick. Hold on, do this, click that. Hold on, Achievers, the OBS is freaking out.
Oh, you figured that out? I'll answer your question. I liked Three Houses, and I really want to go back to it. Like, it was my first Fire Emblem game, and I was really enjoying it. But like, I've never like finished one, so like, I don't know if I need to try another one or just try to finish this one. Like, I want to go back to this one. I don't know if it's like. I'm assuming it's worth it.
So this is the freaky hair, I believe.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is definitely the main character here.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, definitely looks interesting. This is definitely your support screen. Fire Emblem fans will know this well. Let me minimize this a little bit, but yeah. Also, if you're on YouTube, sorry. Sorry, if you're on podcast service, you have no idea what we're talking about. The leak is showing like what some screens look like. Right now, we're looking at the support screen from basically any Fire Emblem game. Looks like the rosters here. I'm having issues identifying literally any of these people because the quality of the photo is not great. But so far, no one I recognize.
Yeah.
All these look like original characters. So we'll have to see how that works out. Maybe it's going to be they said mid battle, so maybe you're just summoning people like to help you fight someone, or it's more deep and you're having conversations with these people or something. I imagine it's like a power or something, and you're summoning people mid battle alongside you or something. But we'll have to see. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm a huge Fire Emblem fan, so this is all amazing to me. I'm assuming it is a smaller game. Maybe it isn't, but if it was done so quickly, I imagine is slightly smaller than something like Three Houses. But if it isn't, that would be wild. But I think the length will be something around like Shadows of Valencia or something like that. Infinity Ward is hiring for an open world RPG. So a very interesting job posting went live for Infinity Ward saying they were hiring for an open world RPG. Now, this kind of made the rumor rounds over the week. I honestly, Alex, I don't think this is more than something Warzone related. I really think this is just, hey, we're hiring for Warzone. Like, I really do think that was kind of it. So I'm curious if you think this is more than just we're hiring for Warzone.
I mean, can you consider Warzone an open world RPG?
I think it's a way of saying Warzone without saying Warzone, or a giant expansion to Warzone.
Maybe
what I call
Warzone 2.
Well, yeah, Warzone 2 is about to come out, so it could have been support stuff. It was unclear. I couldn't find the posting anymore. I was trying to find it somewhere, but I was having issues. But I'll read what the responsibility says. So, partner with the game director and team leadership to set the overall vision of an unannounced AAA project. Your role is to provide the best narrative and cinematic experience in an open world RPG. Participate in creation of the game story, characters, lore, and world building. Cooperate with writers, quest designers, and gameplay team to create cohesive narrative experience. Direct mocap sessions, create a one-page narrative pitches, story and scene scripts, character descriptions, and drive creation of scenes. And there's a lot more. I'm not going to read it all, but I can't imagine they're going to make an open world RPG. Now, if that is true, it's pretty wild. What were you saying?
I just went to Infinity Ward Careers website, and it says, sorry, the job you're trying to apply for has been filled.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. Infinity Ward probably gets like their jobs covered in 5 seconds. So
yeah, like I literally clicked on the tweet from where it's showing, and it was just like gone. Now it's not even. Yeah, it's gone now.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. That job description does say a lot more than what I would expect, but I can't imagine that they would make a Call of Duty open world game, or maybe they're making something different. Maybe they have a project that they want to do.
Maybe we need to do something other than Call of Duty.
Or a crazy thing, or it's a like revitalized Warzone, or maybe a revitalized attempt at a Warzone where it's it's a war zone, but it is this kind of open world thing where you get skills and things. It's closer to I have no idea what this game really is. I just know things about it, but similar to Escape from Tarkov. I don't know if you've ever seen that, Alex, but it's like a survival game that's mixed with, it's like PUBG but like more extreme. Like, so maybe it's something like that.
Maybe
we'll have to see. We really have no idea.
I mean, they've done nothing else but Call of Duty.
Yeah, they have not done anything.
They've been doing Call of Duty since 2003.
Yeah, and once Call of Duty 2 came out, they've done nothing but Call of Duties since. So it's just been Call of Duty for that entire, almost that studio's entire history, I believe.
I mean, it is. It says their games list is literally just Call of Duty.
Oh, is it? I thought they made a game prior to Call of Duty.
2003, Call of Duty 1, 2005, Call of Duty 2.
And then it goes into...
They didn't do Call of Duty 3. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 2007, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Ghosts, Infinity Warfare, Modern Warfare, Warzone. That's it.
I could have swore they did a game like prior to Call of Duty. So yeah, they have known nothing but Call of Duty. I'll be very curious if this and that is an actual game. I am skeptical, but I would love to be proven wrong. I'd love to see Infinity Ward do something else, or if you have to make a Call of Duty game, do something different with it. Like completely change the formula. That'd be exciting.
Would you? I was gonna say, would you want them to do a Call of Duty world? But like in that universe, but is it kind of like a Ghost Recon or SOCOM type game, like a co-op top down, or maybe even a top down game, kind of more strategic?
I wouldn't like top down. I would love their attempt at a Ghost Recon game. I would love that. I would
like a third person.
Yeah, that would be sick. Like if they really sat down and tried their hardest to make a Ghost Recon-esque game. I really think they could nail that. If that is what this is, that'd be sick.
I'm thinking Ghost Recon type, maybe like Army of Two, like maybe they find like 2 characters.
That'd be dope. Yeah, some sort of co-op squad thing. Yeah. It'd be huge if they actually did something, because that's a huge departure compared to what they would do.
It's not like they have to stop Call of Duty, but like make something new, man.
Yeah, it'd be cool. And apparently, if rumors are to be true, next year we're not getting Call of Duty. Next year's. This year is Modern Warfare 2. Yeah. Yep. So next year we'll presumably not be getting Call of Duty for the first time in 20-something years. Something like that.
I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah, I bet you they'll announce Black Ops 52 from Treyarch.
Avowed is the next rumor we have here via Jason Schreier. Now, I thought it was a deadlock, Alex, that Avowed would be at the Xbox Game Showcase, but it was a no-show.
Nothing.
No show. We didn't get anything from Avowed. And Jason Schreier comes in to kind of paint a picture on possibly why that is. He goes on to say in a tweet, this is a response to an Avowed thing. Quote, Avowed has gone through some reboots and has changed directors pretty recently. Don't know if they'll be there today in reference to the showcase, but I wouldn't expect to play it for a while. End quote. So
it's a Halo 5 again.
So it sounds like Avowed is having some issues. Now, Jason Schreier did delete this tweet in response, and I believe he clarified on Reddit. The reason is he literally said he didn't want websites reporting on it. Very curious why. I'm assuming he might have something coming very soon that he wants basically an exclusive kind of story on. So maybe that's why. But he did delete this tweet, so you cannot find anyone other than people screenshotting it. But I'm officially worried about Avowed. I hope I believe in Obsidian, so I do think it will worry. But I would be lying to say I am not worried about the game now.
Dude, it's crazy now. It's like Halo 5. That game that we saw for Avowed, that trailer that we saw, that's not the game anymore.
Yeah, it might be completely different in some sort of way that we don't know about, and
probably we'll a whole different.
Yep. There might be a Nintendo Direct. According to Alana Pierce, there will be a Nintendo Direct at the end of June. So when asked by a viewer in, I believe, one of her Twitch streams that she does. By the way, Alana Pierce is a writer for God of War Ragnarok, crazy enough, over at Sony Santa Monica. When asked by a viewer if there will be a direct soon, she said, quote, "No, but I believe there is a Nintendo Direct coming on the 29th," end quote. She goes on to say a bunch of things like, let me double check on that. She checks like some notes, it seems. And then she comes back. He's like, "Nope, yep, it is." And she was like, "I'm not sure if it was announced. If it isn't, there you go." So it seemed like she wasn't positive that if it was announced or not. So I don't see why she wouldn't know this. So I pretty much believe that there will be a direct coming very soon. And interestingly, on the 29th, my birthday. Alex, now when I kind of asked you about this early in the week, and I brought it up and I said either this direct will be boring or someone's dick is going to be blown off. Nintendo does not do anything in the middle, so I feel like this is going to be a pretty calm, nothing crazy direct.
I don't think though, because when it like if Alana just said that and there's nothing happening about it, obviously it's not been a big deal.
Yeah, she didn't hype it up too much. Maybe she doesn't know the content of the direct, but
if it was crazy, she probably would not have said anything.
That's true. That is an interesting way of looking at it.
Isn't that like an NDA? Like, I mean,
no. She had, friend DAs is what it's called. Someone in the know probably told her, and she's like, fuck it, I'll say something. Yeah. Apparently, she's well known in the industry, so she probably gets fucking told everything about everyone. So. But yeah, I will be interested. Like I said, directs are either boring to me or crazy. So we'll see which one it is. I wouldn't.
Yeah, more Pokemon Snap DLC.
I wouldn't expect much from this if you ask me. But I don't try to predict directs because they are fucking random. They are just random to me. Like, some are amazingly great. Some I'm like, okay, that was boring. Like, why did you even make that? I understand you have to do something, but... So I'm not trying to predict it, but if I had to guess, I don't think there's anything crazy at this. But hey, fuck if I don't know. So Tactics Ogre Reborn was leaked on the PSN. Straight up just leaked. Like the game page came on, a couple people got pictures of it. Of course, this is the Final Fantasy Tactics game, but there's not really much else to say. It straight up just got leaked. We already knew this was real because of the NVIDIA leak. That has proven to be true over and over again. But if you need more confirmation, they straight up leaked the Tactics Ogre. Maybe that'll also have been announced by the time this goes live at the Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary. Wouldn't make much sense because it doesn't have anything to do with Final Fantasy VII, but it's Square. This might be a good time to bring it up or something. Last rumor for the week. A developer at Night Dive Studios said on Nate the Hate podcast that he had heard there was a Banjo-Kazooie revival being developed. Now, there is some incorrect statements in this, but I thought it was still good to be brought up because it doesn't technically mean the overall thing is incorrect. It just means that he might have got some details wrong. So he goes on to say, quote, "Banjo will be at the show and it will be announced." And then I believe the actual host goes to say Modern Vintage Gamer. This is the guy's name. Chimed in with, quote, "I've heard that Banjo's coming for months now from different people. Something is happening with Banjo. I just can't tell what it is," end quote. So he can't tell if it's a collection. He can't tell if it's a brand new game. He can't tell if it's like remastered content. Who knows? Like I said, the developer from Night Dives did incorrectly say it was going to be at the show, but I believe that they've heard about this game. So I wouldn't be shocked if there's something Banjo related. I would be shocked that if Rare is making it. I don't think Rare is making it. I think they're too busy with Sea of Thieves, and I'm sure they have another project in the works. I think they've made it clear that they do not want to go back to their old titles. So I think another studio is working on it. I just don't know who. And I have no relationship with Banjo-Kazooie, so unless Alex, you have something to chime in, I'll move on.
I played it when I was little, and I used to love it, but like I don't like. I I watched it a couple months ago, and I was like, it's not for me. I even tried the one that was supposed to be kind of like a spiritual successor.
Ukulele.
Yeah, thank you, Ukulele. I tried that, and it was fun, but after a while, I'm just like, it's not like I didn't have fun with it. I enjoyed it, and that was enough for me. I was like, I didn't finish it or anything. I was just like, I had enough, but this was fun.
Yeah, I don't believe I've even touched a Banjo-Kazooie game. If I did, I was so young, I barely remember it. So I really have nothing to chime in with this. I'm excited for people because I know this is a big deal for a lot of people. Like, a lot of people love these titles. So I'm just excited if it ever does come out. So, good for you guys.
Right?
that's over for rumor roundup. So we're actually getting into the news. So as a reminder, we only really have one big news story to talk about. Wasn't really much going on, obviously because of Summer Game Fest, Xbox Showcase, things like that. People want to stay out of the way. So we have a giant IGN interview with Todd Howard about Starfield. Now, the Todd Howard, Mr. Toddy Boy himself. Now, before I get into this, Alex, you had to leave because you are a caring father and you're a great daddy. Yeah. Sometimes I call you daddy, but that's for unrelated things.
Shh, my wife is listening.
That's unrelated. That's unrelated. But you had to leave. You know, you gave a little bit of your thoughts, but I wanted you to kind of take this time to. What was your thoughts on what you saw? What are your thoughts sitting on it for about a week now? You know, a little less than a week.
I want to love it. Like I think I'm gonna enjoy it like a lot. But my thing is like the more things that keep coming out about it, I'm worried because like now like I was like, oh, I was watching the gameplay. It looks cool. Like I'm excited to like it looks a lot like No Man's Sky, and I really like No Man's Sky, but it's so depth. It's so much depth that it's hard to get into. But every time I jump into the game, I'm like, I want to keep playing this because this is awesome. But like it's just sometimes too much. So that's my worry with this one. I'm hoping it's not too much. I like that you can like do the first person, like, you know, it's the shooting is like it's more it's you know, kind of like you know, it's a Bethesda game. You could feel like it's a Bethesda game. But then I'm like, then I thought I was like, oh well, how's the flying? You know, are you gonna be able to like go into the thing and fly out the planet, or like how you do in No Man's Sky since they're so similar? Apparently, they just recently said no, you cannot seamlessly fly out of the planet.
Yep, we'll be covering that. Yeah, you cannot just get into you cannot get into a ship and fly up. You will be teleported to the space. Then you can presumably do something. I don't know what.
Yeah. So now, what does that mean? Now is there going to be loading screens? Like, is it going to be just like there's going to be like maybe just not a loading screen, but maybe like a cut scene, and that's the loading screen.
The loading screen, yeah.
Yeah. Now and then they're like, you know, they're trying to be again No Man's Sky. There's thousands of planets. Are all these planets really like full with stuff, or are they all bare and stuff like No Man's Sky is half the time?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want 1,000 planets. Give me like 50 planets full of a bunch of shit. Like, I don't need that many planets. There's no way. Like, you can add planets later on. Like, give me an update. Let's say, you know, the game comes out with like 30, 40 planets. Because, you know, however long. And they'll be like, this for the next 6 months. We're going to have like a roadmap, kind of like, you know, what Assassin's Creed does. And be like, oh, the next DLC, we're going to add another 50 planets or another 100 planets. And then you can do this stuff over there. There's like, you know, something going on over there. Maybe there's a black hole. Maybe they'll do that. I just hope they learn from other games that looks like they're trying to copy.
Yes, you nailed every single thing you just said. I think I agree with basically everything you said. I am worried about the 1,000 planets. I understand. I understand I understand some people's points. I understand it's for the discoverability. I understand that
for sure.
There's a whole sect of the people that, first off, for some reason, people are upset that this game's getting criticized. I don't know what the fuck that's about. People need to relax. All right. It sounds like people are getting upset that their favorite game is getting shit on. So I don't know. I've been a Kingdom Hearts fan. I'm weathered the storm, all right? So I don't understand why people are getting upset. I've been shit on literally ever since Kingdom Hearts came out, so I don't know. Hey, grow some skin, all right? People are going to talk shit about the game.
Right?
A second, moving on from that, because it's just been annoying me all week. People get fucking upset that this game's being criticized. What's your problem? I don't understand.
Yeah.
But to the 1,000 Planets thing, yeah, that, like, My thing is why? Because putting things for content's sake generally is not a good idea. One of the people, some people brought up like, oh my god, modders are gonna have a great time with this. I'm like, I play on console. I don't give a fuck about modders. Yeah. I don't have mod community on it.
That's the big thing for some reason is modders, dude.
I like it. It's cool. It's cool that they have that community, but I'm not gonna get excited about a feature I'm not gonna experience. So I just don't care. So. That's another thing. I'm worried about the shooting and why did the frames are terrible. Clearly, we're months from the release, so they can polish this up. But I'm not. I'm worried that they're telling me that the game is huge, and let's not all forget Bethesda doesn't have the greatest track record at launch games. At launch games are usually fucking ridden with bugs. Ridden with it. Fallout 4, 3,
Fallout 76.
Skyrim. I mean, fuck, even Oblivion was pretty buggy back in the day. Like, 76, yes, but barely. 76 was pretty much broken when it launched. Like,
yep.
And you're telling me, like, I'm supposed to be excited about the studio that does that is making 20 times as much content? I'm like, no, I'm fucking terrified. I hope this is good. I hope the game is good. I really am, but I'm not gonna not criticize the game. I'm going to say the shit I don't worry about.
I'm excited as fuck for the game, but I'm still gonna criticize it because I was like, I don't want them to get it wrong.
Yeah. I am so excited for Starfield. I hope it's good. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah. I hope I play this game and I'm like, fuck, I was so wrong. It reminds me of Guardians of the Galaxy. I shit on Guardians of the Galaxy like the entire time before it came out, and then I played it and I fucking loved it.
We loved it.
I fucking loved it. So I hope I'm there. My biggest issue was it seems like there's two camps of people for this game. People that says, holy shit, it is Fallout and Skyrim in space, and then the second camp of people that said, oh, it's Fallout and Skyrim in space. Like, it feels like that's the two camps of people about this game. Either you're really excited about it's straight up just a Bethesda game and it's almost nothing else that's different about it in space, or fuck, it's a Bethesda game and it's in space. Like, that seems like the two camps that people are in. It's like
people are it's like now, I guess, because I wouldn't say because of Fallout 76, but because of past games that have had issues, people are getting to the same mindset as, like, it's like Ubisoft. I'm like, oh no, like, is it going to be the same? Is it going to be a fuck up? Is it what's going to happen? I don't know. I'm losing my trust.
We'll have to see. Bethesda has to prove it to me. All right. I don't understand why people are just like, forgot about 76. We forgot how other games launched. Like, I'm just fucking worried that this game's going to come out and it's going to be a mess.
If No Man's Sky can pull back, like, how, like, because No Man's Sky was terrible at the beginning, but people stuck with it, and eventually it became like this big thing. I'm wondering if maybe that's what they try to do with Fallout 76. It's like, oh, it's not the best thing. It's missing everything, but look, we're gonna add it later. I don't know, man. Why can't you just give it a couple more months and then add it in?
Yep. Let's get into the evening. So over on IGN, Joe Scrabbles actually transcribes a kind of hyperlink to all the segments. It was really well done. I actually loved it. So if you want to, you can actually head over to IGN, read everything we're about to describe. I want everyone to go over there, give it a click, because some of this I have to read his entire quote, which is most of the article, and I don't want to take away anyone's clicks. So go over there, give IGN some clicks, some loves, figure it, just give them some love for this, because this is actually a really cool interview, and it does give a deep insight to the philosophy that Todd gave to this game. And let's just start it, because this is a good chunky interview that I'm gonna kind of break down for everybody. So he shares some interesting details about Starfield. So probably one of the most newsworthy pieces comes in the form of Fallout 5. We're gonna kind of start with Fallout 5, so we can kind of just move on from that, so we can just have nothing but Starfield for the next rest of the show. When asked about the studio's future, Todd said, quote, yes, Elder Scrolls 6 is in pre-production, and we're going to be doing Fallout 5 after that. So our slate's pretty full going forward for a while. We have some other projects that we look at from time to time as well, end quote. Alex, so from the man's mouth himself, Skyrim, so Elder Scrolls 6, not Skyrim. I do that all the time. Elder Scrolls 6 is in pre-production, so it is not even.
We won't see it for another 3 years.
Correct. I think we will have this game around 2027.
Yeah, I was thinking 5 years, and then I think Fallout 5 will another 5 years. So we won't get Fallout 5 for another 10 years.
Yeah, it's in pre-pro. So unless he's lying, which he isn't, he has no reason to. That means they have not even started developing the game. So that means they are in pre-production. They're setting everything up. They're getting their Bible ready to like follow the game. And we are not seeing this until 2027 probably.
For a while.
That means Alex, Fallout 5, we won't see probably for another 10 years.
Yeah.
So that means maybe in 2032 we'll get Fallout 5.
How much you want to bet right now that before Fallout 5 comes out, within this 10 years, we will get a remaster of Fallout 3 for the new systems and Fallout 4? Like, a collection, Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 collection for the PS5, Xbox Series X only. And we'll probably get it before.
You actually stole the question out of my mouth. I was going to ask you, like, since we're not getting Fallout 5, we're almost guaranteed a kind of middle game before we get to 5. Because there's no way they're sitting on Fallout for 10 years and nothing.
We're hoping Starfield will last these next couple years until Elder Scrolls. And then they start adding, Starfield is going to be good. It's going to be good for like 3 years. They'll give some DLC. And that should give it a little bit more edge until Elder Scrolls. We'll see Elder Scrolls, but it's like, but before then, here's the collection. Here you go. Here's a collection.
Either a collection, maybe a sequel to New Vegas or something. But I'm sure Phil at Microsoft is like, we're not waiting 10 years for a Fallout game, bro. Like, either you guys are going to make a side game or we're going to get Obsidian to make a New Vegas 2. One of those things is going to happen.
I don't even doubt it because they've done Skyrim how many times?
Yeah. So I really do think
Oblivion. I don't think they've ever remastered Oblivion.
No, unless you count the 4K thing they did with the backwards compatibility
and
stuff.
I can see them doing Morrowind, Oblivion remasters before we get Fallout 5. So that would be in between.
That'd be cool. I think they should because their games are great, but they're just visually not there anymore. So if you want people to experience those games again, you got to kind of
I mean, I would even say like give Morrowind and Oblivion this what the 4K version of Skyrim looks like. I mean, that'd be fine.
We'll have to see, but we're talking ludicrous time between these games. So
10 years. Well, I'd say what 2022 right now. We won't see a gameplay trailer for Fallout 5 till 2030.
Yeah, I don't think that's crazy at all. I really don't. We're talking about Bethesda here. Yeah.
That's wild.
So, moving, that is crazy to think. He said that. Oh, fuck. All right.
I'll be almost 40.
Yeah, I'll be in my mid-30s.
Yep.
Fucking shit, dude.
That's wild.
So, yeah, I'll probably have a child. Starfield has and this goes on to bring up Starfield. So Starfield has more handcrafted content than any game they have ever made. Todd Howard, when the 1,000 Planets were brought up, had a lot to say in terms of the quality and quantity of said content. Todd said this idea was centered around one philosophy that he had with the team members. Quote, we try to say yes as much as possible, end quote, in terms of the planets. Now, he does come back to this quote later on when asked, why can't you fly? Yeah, go ahead. And he goes on to kind of detail his procedural generation in Starfield. So, quote, we do a lot of procedural generation in Starfield, but I would keep in mind that we've always done that. It's a big part of Skyrim in terms of questing and some other things we do. We generate landscape using procedural systems, so we've always kind of worked on it. Elder Scrolls Daggerfall is one we look at a lot in terms of game flow. And we had been developing some procedural technology and doing some prototypes, and it really started coming to a head with Starfield, and that we think we can do this, end quote. Now, in terms of the Bethesda way, or a lot of people say, Todd also said there will still be a golden path you can follow throughout Starfield, which is full handcrafted Bethesda RPG fans would expect. Quote, I should also add, we have done more handcrafting in this game content-wise than any game we've ever done. We're at over 200,000 lines of dialogue, so we still do have a lot of handcrafting, and if people just want to do what they're used to in our games and follow a main quest and do the quest lines, you're going to see what you'd kind of expect from us. But then you'd have this whole part of, well, I'm just going to wander this planet and I'm going to provide some gameplay and some random content and those kinds of things, kind of like Daggerfall would if you go way back, end quote. So that's the beginning half of his little procedural generation talk. Speaking of, hey, look, we do have a lot of handcrafted content in this game. Now, how much of that handcrafted content is scattered around 1,000 worlds that I have to navigate? Who knows? I don't know. It could be cool. This is something that you guys need to sell me on, just because I'm skeptical on how fun is it going to be going to fucking one system. How fun is it going to system XYZ, right? And then going to Zorgon 42 planet. And then I get a data pad after I kill a bunch of slavers or something that tells me to go to system ABC into Exion 75. And I go and fly to that planet. Is that fun? Am I having fun during that? Is that an engrossed experience? Am I finding little mysteries? How good is the dialogue? That's all things that we're just going to have to wait for the game. That is why I'm skeptical. How fun will it be to assumably hover over the system I go to on, I assume, a mini-map, fast travel to there, fly around in space, find the planet, hit dock or whatever you do, dock the planet, run around, do whatever quest I do there. Like, on paper, that does sound cool, but will the actual execution of that be good? Who knows?
Yeah, I think it's going to be very limited. Because it keeps showing how it's like, oh, you know, this game it's like huge and you can go all these places. But I think it's going to be very limited to where, like, you know, when they showed off you being in space and you're like in that area, like let's say you're on the Zorgon 42, you can only be in that specific area zone. And I don't think it's going to let you leave to like another planet. I think you're going to have to like go to the map. And then hit warp drive to it, and then it'll do like a cutscene, and it'll take you there, and then okay, now you're in this area zone, and then you can go to that planet down there if you want to. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like like how No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky is you're in a system, yeah, and you just fly there. Yeah, I that's a good point. I don't know either. Maybe you're just flying in like void space in the game or something, but yeah, I don't think you're crazy saying like maybe you just warp to a planet area and then you're just kind of flying around. Maybe you're shooting at some ships. So we'll have to see. And Alex, you actually brought this up earlier, so let me read this quote. We're also careful to let you know what that procedural content is. So you look at space, you know there's a lot of ice balls in space. So that was one of our big design considerations on this game. Quote, what's fun about an ice ball? And it's okay sometimes if ice balls aren't. It is what it is. We'd rather have them and say yes to you. Yeah, you can land on that. Here are the resources. You can survey it. Then you can land and spend 10 minutes there and be like, okay, now I can. Now I'm going to leave, go back to another planet that has all the other content, and I'm going to follow this quest line. End quote. So that is him saying, yes, there are planets that have nothing on them that you can mine, but there is nothing on them. So. Cool, I guess. I mean, I know that's a lot of people's things, right? Exploration, They love. All right, let's see what's on that planet. Okay, well, nothing's on this planet, but I got a bunch of cool minerals. Like that could be cool. You know, Minecraft's fun. Like harvesting, finding that, you know, giant diamond ore site, finding that really big material you needed to upgrade your ship, and all these things. So that could be cool.
It's always hard though, because like, you know, for example, Minecraft. I feel like space, they're trying to make space so big how it actually is, and it's too much sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, look, is this going to be Mass Effect 2 probing 2.0? Is this going to be the equivalent of, fuck, I need to upgrade my armor so my fucking people don't die in the suicide mission? All right, I need 20,000 palladium. Okay, all right, so what's
I hope it's guy to where, like, for me to get the fucking planet, I need to make these thrusters. But for these thrusters, I need to mine this material. I need to go across the planet for that material. Okay, then I could and then I can fucking make the thrusters. Now, every time I thrust up, my gas goes down. And what do I need for gas? The more materials. I hope it's not like that, because that's one thing that it kind of turned me off.
Here we go. My issues with these things. How serious is this? Because
exactly,
I don't really want a No Man's Sky experience where literally I need like, all right, I'm low on fuel. Let me like go to a planet nearby. All right, I got the fuel. Fucking run it back in. All right. Oh shit, did I get damaged? Let me repair my oof. Like,
yeah,
you could get boring.
What we're trying to do that shit's like fucking.
Some
like
people love that stuff.
Yeah, and it's real, and it's like, it's really, but it could be jarring a bit sometimes.
Yeah. The main quest to Starfield will be about 30 to 40 hours to complete. And of course, being a Bethesda game, your time is going to vary with this. It's going to be all over the place because, side quests and things. But apparently, if you just mainline the main quest, anywhere between 30 to 40 hours.
Have you noticed they haven't said one thing? You can put up to a certain amount of hours into the game. Not the main quest is just 40 hours, but they haven't said to her like, oh, you can put up to 500 hours into the game. Kind of like what
they definitely don't want Dying Light 2 thing.
Yeah, they haven't said anything because I guess if they have 1,000 planets, how long is that going to take?
It reminds me when No Man's Sky said, what was it? You couldn't go to every planet they had before the universe died or some shit like that. Like that was like their marketing thing. And it was like you can't go to every planet, or if you went to every planet for 10 seconds or a minute or something, the universe will die before you could even do that or something. I was like, okay, that's cool, I guess.
What?
As Bethesda games will, except no one brought up Fallout 4. Fallout 4 had a voice protagonist, so I guess people forgot about that. But Starfield will not have a voice protagonist. So, no voice. We're going back to Fallout 3, Skyrim, no voice. Alex, this was surprisingly not contentious. I thought more people would have an issue with this, but everyone kind of seemed excited, surprisingly, that there will be no voice protagonist. What do you think? Does that excite? Do you care at all?
No. I think people are excited because if people are so into like, oh, if this is supposed to be me, if this is his voice and this is what he's saying, like, why? That's not me. Like, I'd rather not say anything at all, and so it feels more like me. So then he'll just have the dialogue options.
Yeah, I was hoping we would get a Mass Effect like situation here, where like there is a blank slate. I do have a name, but I can still color in who my Shepherd is. But but we're not getting a voice protagonist. I agree that does lend them to more options because they don't have to worry about like voicing everything,
voice acting,
so they can just put in lines that you can say. So I understand. I'm just like, I kind of wish this was like a Mass Effect-ish situation where we had like a Shepherd and they were voiced in things, but I'm take it or leave it. Like, I would have liked a voice, but since we don't have a voice, that does mean we will have more options. I do like Fallout 4 when if you have like, for instance, like if you have enough medicine, that gives you an option when you're like talking with like someone that like is addicted to drugs or something. Like, you'll have more of a dialogue option because you are experienced with medicine. So if that's a thing in this, that was something I always loved in Fallout. So
yeah.
This is just a quick one. Starfield will have the step out moment from past Bethesda games. Cool, leaving the vault in Fallout 3, the light shines and you open, there's an open up. Now you can go do anything you want. So people were excited about that. I was like, all right, cool. All right.
Starfield moment.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Starfield will have 4 main cities. New Atlantis is the biggest and is the capital of the United Colonies. This one city is bigger than anything in Skyrim and Fallout in terms of their other settlements and cities in the game. Quote, but and this is from Todd, of course. Quote, but that's not all. But that's also the headquarters of for Constellation, which is the faction that you join. That is the last group of space explorers. Kind of NASA meets Indiana Jones meets the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
That's a good movie.
It's a fun movie for sure. Mm-hmm. Isn't that the one with the invisible guy?
Mm-hmm. There's Jekyll and Hyde, the invisible one. There's
it's a fun movie.
Yeah, a bunch of them. Yeah.
But yeah, that all that sounds pretty Bethesda to me, so I'm down with that. I don't know if you saw, Alex, there was pictures of the UI, and they have the like starting traits, which I really love with the Bethesda games. So like one was starter home. So like you grew up in like a small.
It's kind of like what Mass Effect did originally. Always like, are you a lone survivor or are you from Earth?
Yeah,
or like,
but there's like 20 options and you get to pick 3 of them.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I love stuff like that. So getting into that stuff, I'm down with that. Like,
I mean, like, I guess Elder Scrolls does that because they'll be like, oh, what are you, a Nord or this or that, or are you Imperial? Like, what are you?
Yeah, but you don't get much outside of that.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, similar to Mass Effect, and I bring up Mass Effect a lot in this because I really just want this to be a fucking giant Mass Effect game. But aside from that, I wish, I hope when I do pick certain traits, maybe later on there's a character that I knew from that beginning and I do a quest with them, similar to if you were the sole survivor in Mass Effect 1, you found that there was another survivor and they were captured by Cerberus and they were experimented on and they're killing like the last scientists that were doing messed up stuff to them, like stuff like that. Like, I like things of that nature, so hopefully we kind of stick with that. I love having quests based on my prologue that I pick. Todd Howard says flying seamlessly is not important. We kind of covered this prior. People have quote from Todd Howard. People have asked, can you fly the ship straight down to the planet? No. We decided early in the project that the on surface is one reality and that when you're in space, it's another reality. Now, before I move on from this quote, I kind of agree that it's not a huge deal that you can't fly in, frankly, because I just don't want them to focus engine-wise on that, because they already have a lot to worry about. I highly doubt they could figure out flying into a planet and landing seamlessly. So if this helps the performance of the game, because he even brings up, quote, if you try to really spend a lot of time engineering the in-between, like that segue, you're just spending a lot of time on something that's really just not that important to the player. So let's make sure it's awesome when you're on the surface and awesome when you're in space, and those realities look and play as good as they can be, end quote. I pretty much kind of agree with what he's saying there. If you don't want to spend those resources figuring out how to seamlessly cool, just focus on the good shit.
And if they're gonna do that, then they better damn sure make the flying experience great.
Perfect segue. Detailing some more ships. Combat is inspired by FTL and Mech Warrior, and you can steal ships that you board. Quote, your ship has various power systems. There's a little bit of FTL there in terms of putting how much power into 3 different weapon systems. There are your engines, your shields, your gravity drive, which was to jump, and to sort of get out of situations that you have to put power to, end quote. So that reminds me of like Star Trek. Where like, more power to the shields and stuff. So hopefully, if it's that fun, that does sound fun. I am super into Space Pirate, where like, can I disable a ship, board it, kill everyone on board, and like steal all their stuff? That sounds fun.
It reminds me of Expanse. Like Expanse did a lot of like space fighting.
Mass Effect 1, again, bringing up Mass Effect again. Mass Effect 1 had certain missions where they took place on derelict ships, and you got on and you like figured out their story. Like, why is everyone on board dead? Sometimes it was like just someone just went crazy on board, killed everybody, stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
I remember that. Yeah.
So like, if there's a situation like that, that sounds cool. Me flying around. Hey, there's a signal in quadrant B of this fucking planet. Let's go see it. And there's just a ship floating with no power. Like, that sounds awesome. Mm-hmm. Something I didn't have written down here because they didn't really go into it in the interview. But curious if you have any insight on this, Alex. Apparently there's going to be crewmates in the game. I haven't figured out what in terms that might entail, but apparently there's actual crew members that you can have and companions. So there's going to be people that help run the ship, I'm assuming
like Mass Effect. I mean, remember Dr. Chalk she's a crew member.
Yeah, I'm assuming we'll have situations like that where there's going to be someone that maybe gives you a bonus to maybe like how fast your ship repairs or something like that. So maybe you're gonna have like a set crew and companions that like explore with you. That sounds really cool too. Like almost like a Suikoden like recruitment system where like you can talk people into joining you on your space crew.
And if you have companions, I wonder how many you can have at once.
At once I assume one. I don't know. And I don't know if they've said how many companions are going to be in the game. We only know one companion, I believe. and that is a robot guy, and that's all. I don't think we know anything else about companions. Could be wrong. Achievers, if you know something, let me know in the comments. I always add them to corrections in the following week, so just let me know. In terms of dogfighting in space, you can also do other things like disable a ship and board them rather than just blowing them up. Like I said prior, it can be like ship pirates. You can disable something. Assumably, you can EMP them and just board them. That's really cool.
Now, board them like Mass Effect 1, where you can board them and do a bunch of stuff, or board them like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, where you can board a ship and it's just a cutscene where you just take over and things like that. Well, not Black Flag, but which Assassin's Creed was it? Where you can board a ship or something, and it kind of does like a cutscene where you're like, oh, you fight a couple people, but then it just takes. And then you're
right. Yeah, Black Flag. Black Flag. You had like 3 things to do depending on how hard the ship was. Like one was take down the flag, kill people, and then like kill the captain. Yeah, that was Black Flag. And then you got a cutscene of like everyone captured and you're stealing their ship.
Yeah. Okay.
I would hope that I board it, I kill everyone, and there's like a default box that the ship is in that I like run in and take all their stuff.
Do your stuff, yeah.
So I hope it's that way. We
won't the ships that you steal, whatever you could take, like you could do. What was it? What did it say? It said you can steal ships you board. So like, can you keep the ships? Like,
I'm assuming you might be able to keep the components. You're selling it, assumably. Maybe you are making money off it. Maybe you're just getting the resources.
Or maybe you can. Well, maybe if you steal the ships and you take it to a thing, or like let's say to a like Grand Theft Auto, like you take it to the garage and now it's yours. You could take certain components or like that, and that's what you use to make your ship customizable and stuff.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. They did show off that giant customization ship thing, which looks pretty cool. But
a realistic gummy ship.
Yeah. Yes, that is exactly what it looked like. But yeah, I think I agree with you. Yeah, maybe once you get it, or you might have
to certain dockets.
Whoa, that'd be crazy. I don't know. Maybe you just steal the innards and then blow it up after. Yeah, that's an interesting point. It does say steal. So presumably you're taking the ship. Maybe you were taking it somewhere.
There's 2 options where like once you get in there, it says either steal ship and components or blow it up. And maybe if you steal ships and components, maybe there's a cutscene where you just take a bunch of stuff and it's just like of just a scrapyard or ship just sitting there. Or if you blow it up, you fly away and there's just a blow up, a cutscene or something.
Yeah. We won't. I guess we just don't know. We'd have to guess. But I hope it's, I get on there, I steal the stuff, and I have the choice to blowing it up, which steals a little bit of components, or I keep it, but I have to fly somewhere to dismantle it or sell it to somebody or something. Yeah. We'll have to see. This is news from the Bethesda showcase. Hideo Kojima at the Xbox Bethesda Coast. They said there will be a partnership with Xbox to develop a game. This is clearly the leaked Overdose horror game that is going to be cloud focused. Very cool. Very, I think, unexpected in many ways that Hideo is really just working with Xbox here, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see that. And another thing I didn't write down, but I'm going to quickly cover. If Riot Games announced a partnership with Xbox via Xbox Game Pass for PC. So Xbox Game Pass for PC, if you are a member of Game Pass Ultimate or just Game Pass for PC, as far as I understand, if you link your Riot Games account, you will have every legend for, let's say, League of Legends, for Valorant, for these types of things. So
money just saved.
It's a huge deal. That's like $700. And I'm not lying to you, Cheevers. That is like $700 in League of Legends. So that is now people you don't have to buy. Valorant is the same way. I don't think it's nowhere near that, but I think you get to close to. I think you get over $100 if you go and buy all the agents right now. So. This is saving money, which is very cool. Very excited for this to eventually come out. Those were the biggest news, I think, from the 2 showcases, were those 2 things. And, of course, the Persona things that we're about to cover. But before we do that, Alex, very weird 343 story. So, 343 had to issue an apology on Wednesday due to a rather brain-dead decision by someone. The developer made a Juneteenth emblem, which, for people not in America, that is a day that we celebrate the emancipation of slaves, black people. And to celebrate the thing, they made a cool emblem for the game. The issue is they called it Bonobo, which is a name for a monkey. Don't know who the fuck thought that was cool. I imagine plenty of people are getting fired for this, whoever did this. But that happened. They had to issue an apology for this. Fucking crazy. How does that get passed? I don't know. I don't know how one person didn't go, what the fuck does that say? But that made it to the thing. It was very quickly fixed. I believe it was 2-3 hours or something like that. They renamed it to, I already blanked on what they renamed it to, but that happened. Fucking crazy. Alex, I don't think you have anything else to say about that, but I had to cover that. I was like, people have to know this happened.
That's wild.
Fucking crazy. That just tells you like the nonsense that's going on over there, that how many people looked over that and went, yeah, it's good. Yeah. Like, and just didn't pay attention. Fucking crazy. Alex, that's the news for the week. Date updates are up next. This is a quick run through of the Netflix Geeked Week. Not a lot of this pertains to games. Only one thing does, but they're games related, so I did want to talk about them. There's a teaser trailer for Dragon Age Absolute. That's not what it's called. It was. Dragon Age Absolution. That is what it's called. Dragon Age Absolution, which is kind of like an anime, very Castlevania-like in animation, that is coming to Netflix. And Castlevania Nocturne was announced as well. This is the sequel series, I believe, showcasing the children of the main characters from the original Castlevania show that came out. There will also be a show called Tekken Bloodline coming to Netflix as well. And in development, there will be a game based on Queen's Gambit. Now, if you know what Queen's Gambit is, it is a chess show. It's a show about chess. So they're making a chess game. I don't know why they said it was based on Queen's Gambit. Maybe she's in it or voicing something, or I don't know. But
maybe.
The game based on Queen's Gambit is just chess. So we'll have to see what that means. This is a quick just throw out there for the achievers. Street Fighter 2 is free right now on the PlayStation Store. You just have to download the Capcom Arcade Stadium Collection thing, which is like the free-to-play arcade thing that you can buy add-ons for, and you get little games inside of it. So if you download that, apparently you'll get Street Fighter 2 as well as another game I'm blanking on. But if you want to do that, remember, you can do that on the PlayStation Store right now. I do not know if it's on Xbox as well. I could not find it. I'll have to check. I'll try to leave a comment if I remember if it's on there or not. This is a big one, Alex. Amazon is going to be giving away 30 plus games as a part of Prime Day. So we'll officially Prime Day officially runs between July 12th through July 13th. But the weeks leading up to Prime Day will have a bunch of promotions. So they revealed it's called Start Freeloading, which is pretty funny. Kicks off June 21st and runs till July 13th. And more than 30 games will be given away during freeloading. And these will all be as a part of your Prime subscription. I believe it is through their little Twitch thing that they do.
The Twitch Prime?
I believe so. It's not clear from this, but I'm assuming it is. That you will get all this as through the Twitch thing. It just says Amazon Prime Day. So I'm not sure how this is going to work, but I'm pretty sure it's just going to be through Twitch. You'll hit add game for all of these. And as a reminder, starts June 21st till July 31st. It does not say... Okay, so here we go. The free games that will be featured during Prime Day are the best. So, Mass Effect Legendary Connection is the one that is July 12th to the 13th. You will also be able to get Grid Legends, Need for Speed Heat, Star Wars Jedi Academy, and some other games that aren't announced. But Prime Day is apparently the best stuff. But starting from June 21st on, you'll still get stuff. Things like Death Squared, Fatal Fury Special, Gianna Sisters, Twisted Dreams, Gone Viral, Hue, Metal Slug 2, Pumped BMX Pro, Samurai Showdown 2, The Dark Side Detective, The Kings of Fighter 2002. So, you will get all those things if you are a Prime member for that month period. And again, still unclear how it works. I'm assuming it's through Twitch Prime. Valheim will be coming to PC Game Pass this fall, Xbox and Game Pass earlier in 2023. Persona 3, 4, 5 Royal are coming to PS5, PC. We mentioned this earlier in the show, as well as Xbox, of course. Persona 5 is coming October 21st. Gran Turismo movie is expected to come August 2023, very soon. Overwatch 2 is getting a beta this October, and multiplayer is free to play. There will also be a Founders Pack for people who owe Overwatch 1 before the date of June 23rd, 2022 for Overwatch 2. So, if you buy it before that date, you will get a little Founders Pack for Overwatch 2. And as a reminder, October, multiplayer, free to play. Just remember, you have to get that beta if you want to play it early. Very excited for that free to play, by the way. Means I don't have to buy it again. Cool. I'm down for that. Very excited for Overwatch 2, Alex. It did have a good showing. It does just look like Overwatch, so I don't have too much to say about it, but it does look cool. And that, Alex, is the news for the week. That is everything that we have. We got through that pretty quickly, a lot faster than I thought we would. And Alex, like I say every single show, I start it with a question and I like to end it with a question. Alex, what do you have queued up for the week? This, of course, can be a movie, a game, a comic book, a TV show, anything of the sorts. This isn't just for Alex. This is for you at home. What do you have queued up that's going in for the weekend, Alex? What is it?
So I want to try the new PlayStation Plus subscriptions. I want to see if there's any games on there that I need to go through. Like I recently just went and got Death Stranding, the director's cut, so I can get the trophies for those. I actually downloaded PlayStation Plus app on my computer because I want to try that out and see how it runs and everything.
No, okay.
Just to try it out because it said that you could play PlayStation Plus games on your PC and you just needed the app. And so I just wanted to see if does it stream it or do you got to download it. So I wanted to check that out.
Okay.
Other than that, I want to finish Ozark, and then just I might go back to Valhalla because I think I want to go try the Dawn of Ragnarok DLC.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that end part is what I'll be doing. Just Valhalla.
Yep.
Trying to get through that. I want to do Siege of Paris. I want to do the river raids. I want to do the what is it called? Ragnarok. Jesus, you just said it. Wrath of Druids. That's something I didn't play as well. There's also been little bits of content throughout that I just haven't played yet too. So I'll be doing that as well. It looks like river raids is kind of a grind. So that's gonna kind of suck a little bit. Because Alex, I don't know if you've played it yet, but you are capped at 200 cargo. And they're called foreign supplies is what it's called. But you're capped at 200. You get about 50 every chest that you raid. The issue is the way it works is it's like notoriety in like Assassin's Creed 2 or something. So when you raid a river, you're actively you're basically on a timer. Like it gets harder the more stuff you raid. Obviously you'll get to 200 before it becomes a problem. But there's right now where I am, I only have 2 rivers to choose from. So I only have 2 rivers, and the reason that's an issue is their defensive gets raised every time you raid them. So you raid them once, they become a high difficulty. So you go to a different river, raid them while they're low, they'll change to high, the other one will go down to a medium. But the issue is I'm basically going back and forth between 2 rivers. Hopefully I unlock more. I don't know how. Maybe I have to upgrade my ship or something. I don't know. But hopefully there's not just 2 rivers. I doubt it. But I hope not. But aside from that, yeah, it's going to be that. I love the river raids. Something is satisfying to me when we do the big horn. We run out and just kill a bunch of people, take all their stuff and run. So I'll be doing that. But that's basically it for me for the show. Like I said, this is a quick one, but no reason to stay past what we've been given. So thank you so much for joining us this week, Achievers. Of course, Alex, thank you so much for joining me as always. This was a fun time. I will go think more about Starfield because I don't know. I hope it's good. So I'm gonna go spend my time thinking about it, playing some more Valhalla.
God, I hope it's good.
I think we all hope. Thank you so much for joining us, Achievers. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend on YouTube, podcast service, 5-star review. Those are free ways to help with the algorithm. Remember, patreon.com/CGAchievers is the best way to support the show. Pennies a week, $1 a month. That's all you have to do. There's separate tiers that you can examine on there as well. But until we see you next time, of course, remember, go Achieve.